Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mopping Up Milk podcast, the podcast where we clean up after ourselves. My name is May and I am your host. And today I want to apologize. First of all, I missed a week last week for the first time this year, and I do have a valid reason. I definitely did need a week off, but I just wanted to say sorry for going a bit MIA. If you don't follow me on Instagram or follow Mopping Up Milk on Instagram, that's where I sort of post updates and stuff about the podcast. But on there, I sort of shared that I was actually in the ICU last week, the intensive care unit in hospital. I had a bit of an emergency medical situation, which I'm not going to dive into right now because, to be honest, I don't really feel up to it. I feel like a little bit traumatized from the whole situation. It was very intense, and I probably will dive into it in the future because there are a lot of thoughts and feelings I have about being in hospital for the week, but I'm still sort of recovering and I've still got a few things that I need to do and testing that I need done. So once that's all sort of figured out, I will talk about it. But for now, I'm trying to just journal a lot and get through that experience. But in saying this, whilst I was in hospital for like 6 days, 5 or 6 days, and it was very lonely. Hospital, you're in like your own little bubble, and the visiting hours are quite strict. My family lives 2 hours away. I have my boyfriend come in and visit all the time, which was amazing, and he's the best, honestly. But visiting hours stop at like 8 p.m. and then I have the whole night before I could see someone again or talk to someone again, except for the nurses, obviously. But it is quite lonely being isolated in your little room in ICU, and I just needed a lot of comfort. And on my own, it's hard to give myself comfort, so I was leaning into consuming a lot of content and sort of going to my go-to comfort content creators to sort of get me through being in hospital and feeling a little bit lonely and a little bit scared. I needed a lot of comfort and maybe a few laughs. So I wanted today to share my comfort creators with you because I found them so helpful for me when I was feeling really down and alone. So I thought it could be fun to share them with you, and I would love to hear your recommendations on your comfort creators who just always sort of hit the spot when you need something to distract you or to just make you feel a little bit better. I'm going to discuss 5 of my favorites today. I definitely have a whole lot of favorites. Ranging between YouTube and podcasts is what I'm going to discuss. But in the future, I'll probably make like multiple episodes and parts of this topic because I definitely have more than 5. But today I'm just going to start with 5 and run you through the people I was leaning on the most whilst I was in hospital. I thought it would be a fun topic to share. So let's get on into that. Thank you for being patient with me after not posting last week. I really do appreciate everyone's support and well wishes as well over on Instagram. It definitely does mean a lot to me. But yeah, I'm back. I'm feeling so much better, and I am keen to get back on the weekly podcast grind. It is definitely something that keeps me happy and sane and a great creative outlet for me, and it just sort of made me realize how much I really like doing it, having to have a week off. Yeah. Being in hospital has made me grateful for a lot of things, and this is one of them. I'll talk about that another time, but for now, let's talk about my favorite content creators. Yeah. First on my list today is Sissel. She is a YouTube creator from Denmark originally, but she is living in South Korea with her husband, and she creates really soothing, chill vlog style content on YouTube. What I really, really love about Sissel is that every vlog has a theme or a topic she wants to discuss. And as she goes about her week and as she vlogs her day-to-day things, she discusses that topic at length and sort of dives into the depths of her thought process and her thoughts around that topic. But it's a really fun way of vlogging. It's like she vlogs with intent and purpose. She'll still be doing her day-to-day things, but she'll be talking about something that's been on her mind that week. And I just really love it. I love the idea and the concept of it. It feels intentional and meaningful. It's not just like what she does in the day. She also incorporates talking about something that's either like self-help or growth, and it doesn't feel preachy at all. That's what I really love about it. She has a really great way of discussing in deep sort of topics about self-help and growth that doesn't feel preachy, which is really, really nice. And that's something that I really enjoy in a creator, when they don't feel preachy. She really promotes this soft girl, cozy girl aesthetic, which I love. She has really, really amazing fashion sense as well. She obviously has that really cool Scandinavian style, being from Denmark. The whole aesthetic of her videos is really, really beautiful and sort of minimalistic, but cozy in a way. One thing I really love about Sissel is that she's really, really emotionally mature. I think she's my age, or maybe, yeah, I think she's around 26. I'm not 100% sure, but I think she is. She's mid-20s for sure, but she's so emotionally mature and just handles herself so gracefully and handles really sensitive topics gracefully, which I love, and seems very supportive. One other thing I want to discuss when talking about these creators is their editing style. Sissel's editing style is pretty much, it really, really suits her. It is very smooth and gentle and relaxing. There's a lot of relaxing music going on, and she has a lot of subtitles describing how she's feeling without a voiceover sometimes, which I love. I love it when creators do that. And what else? Yeah, I just go to her when I feel like I want something really gentle and relaxing. There's no chaos. It's just very soothing content and intentional content. So if you are looking for a creator that is vlog style but very smooth and minimalistic and gentle, I'd go for Sissel. She has a lot of great cafe content. She goes and works from cafes a lot and shows off some of the best cafes in South Korea. So if you're looking for recommendations on places to go in South Korea, she is a good creator to go to as well. Okay, now we're switching up the vibe a little bit. We're going polar opposite to Sissel. We're going with my content creator number 2, Chris Klemens. Now, Chris is on YouTube and podcast. His YouTube channel is Chris Klemens, and his podcast channel is Unhinged with Chris Klemens. Yeah, Chris is the polar opposite to Sissel. He is chaos. He is chaotic, and he is a comedian, and he is where I go to when I need a laugh. He just gives me that quick fix of absolutely cackling. He does a whole variety of content. He does vlog style. He does sit down content. He does street interview content, which is actually good street interview content. I know there's a lot of cringy street interview content, but he's a comedian out on the street, so that sort of, it gives you the vibe of the content. It's very funny. And then he has his podcast where it's mainly reacting to listener stories and queries, and he puts a really funny take on their stories and reacts and stuff like that. He also talks about pop culture, a pretty mixed bag on his podcast. And I do tune in from time to time as well when I'm on my hot girl walks. But yeah, he's a comedian based in New York with his 2 dogs, Booger and Keeks. I'm pretty sure the second dog's called Keeks. He just got it and he was unsure on the name. But at the moment, I think it's Keeks or Kiki. But his first dog's called Booger, and it's the cutest little mixer. And I just love that he called his dog Booger. That says a lot about him. I think he's very funny. He is a very fashionable guy, and he does fashion roasts. Now, this is my favorite series on his channel. If you want to go watch one of Chris's videos and it's your first time watching Chris, I'd recommend his fashion roasts. He roasts fashion on like the Oscars red carpet, the Grammys, the Met Gala, all the big American events. He does fashion roasts, and he is so real and so honest, even though he's sort of in that circle and he sort of has friends that are celebrities and whatnot, but he still goes to town and roasts everybody when their outfit is like kind of a bit strange. He's really punny, realistic, and just calls it how it is. And it's just freaking hilarious. I just love watching the fashion roasts when I need a laugh. I definitely was leaning into rewatching fashion roasts when I was in hospital. Very, very, very entertaining and very chaotic. So if you like a bit of chaos and comedy, go for Chris Klemens. Also, going into his editing style, it's very chaotic as well. It's very poppy and loud, and a lot of comedic zoom ins, a lot of shaking, that shaking edit. Love it. it just suits his style of content, really. And yeah, just cheers me up when I need a laugh. So that is number 2, Chris Klemens. All right, now I wanted to give you a lot of variety with 5 content creators, so I tried to pick creators from all across the board. So my 3rd content creator is actually Australian, but she lives in China. It is Blondie in China. She's a foodie and she's been living in China for over 10 years, which I find crazy because she is quite young still. I think she's in her mid to late 20s, probably her late 20s, I guess then. But she's Aussie, so she has that great Aussie banter, and she goes and she travels around China eating a variety of Chinese food. Chinese food is so vast, and it actually is a great way for you to get a look into what the Chinese culture and Chinese cuisine is actually like in different parts of China. But what makes it so interesting is she tries such crazy fun food that you probably would never have heard of before if you're not really into Chinese cuisine or you haven't really dabbled that much into it. And in the way she edits the videos, it's really captivating and engaging. She usually does she picks a type of food she's going to try, and then she goes and tries 3 different restaurants with those types of noodles or those types of dishes and compares and gives you a good review. She literally is so confident with the camera. She has been doing it for a long time, so she literally takes the camera in, interviews the people in the restaurant, sits down and eats the food on camera and gives her live reaction, which I love. It's really raw and authentic content. One thing I really love about her also is that she's really respectful. She has a really respectful approach to exploring the Chinese culture. She speaks fluent Mandarin. She also speaks pretty good Cantonese. She's just really respectful with how she goes about her content, and she's really actually interested in exploring the culture, which I love. Really informational edits. She always has voiceovers running or when she's not talking to the camera. Yeah, it's really cool documentary style content. And also the really fun thing is that she is Aussie, so she has that great Aussie banter when she's reacting to stuff. She's very, very expressive and it's very funny to watch. Yeah, just very entertaining. And it's also something that I like to watch when I was in hospital and maybe I was eating breakfast or something. It's fun to just sort of sit with someone also eating and consuming that content whilst you're alone whilst eating is really nice. So I really enjoyed watching some of her name's Amy, by the way. I'm pretty sure she's Blondie in China because she's blonde, but I really enjoyed watching her content whilst I was in hospital, so I thought I'd recommend her to all the foodies watching this. Now, my 4th recommendation is Morgan Riddle. She is a YouTuber who does lifestyle vlogs, but she leads a pretty crazy fun lifestyle. She is an American based in Miami, but she literally spends the whole year traveling because her boyfriend is a part of the ATP tennis tour. I think it's called ATP. Guys, don't judge me, but I'm not that into tennis. I just really enjoy Morgan's content. Her boyfriend is Taylor Fritz, who is one of the top American tennis players, and I'm pretty sure last time I checked, he was in the top 10 in the world. Pretty crazy lifestyle to lead. She sort of travels with him to all of his tennis tournaments around the world, and she vlogs travel content, fashion content. She sort of brings the fashion to tennis, which is really, really cool. And you sort of see behind the scenes of what it's like to travel with one of the world's best tennis players, which is just really, really cool content to watch. Even if you're not really a sporty person, it's just still fun to see how those people lead their lives. Yeah, so travel and lifestyle vlogs. She's always in a different city, a different country, every vlog. It's crazy to see. It's really, really fun. She does have a heavy focus on self-help and growth also throughout her videos. It's always sprinkled in there. She's always recommending really amazing podcasts. I've definitely gotten some great recommendations from her, so highly recommend if you're into self-growth or development. She definitely talks about that a lot. And it's definitely the center of her vlogs. As she's traveling, she tries to keep herself grounded by going to her favorite exercise classes and keep a sense of normalcy in her life, even though she's traveling everywhere. Yeah, big focus on mental health and also fashion, which I really, really love to see. It's cool to see that she brings the fashion to tennis, and she sort of shows how she explores opening up a different way of viewing sport and opening up a different audience for sport as well. So I highly recommend Morgan Riddle if you're into travel content. She does have a lot of great recommendations for traveling and hot tips when you are traveling, because she literally does it full time. Yeah, really love Morgan's content. It's very aesthetic as well. Her editing style is very colorful and poppy. Her transitions are really smooth and chill and very soft. So recommend Morgan Riddle if you want some lifestyle travel content that's also very smooth and calming. All right. And my last recommendation number 5, is actually a podcast. And it is a podcast full of juice and sugar. It is Everybody Has a Secret by Shameless Media. They are a Melbourne-based media company. If you don't know, get to know. Shameless is their main podcast, what they started with. And if you haven't listened to that, go listen to it. That's just an obvious recommendation. It's a pop culture based podcast. If you're into that, they just cover the world of pop culture, and they're journalists reporting, and it's really funny and engaging. But that's not the one I'm recommending today. I'm recommending Everybody Has a Secret, which is a part of the Shameless family, but it's its own podcast. It was originally hosted by Annabelle Lee, who is a producer at Shameless, and then she started her own podcast under the family. But they just come out with a new season, and she has a co-host this season, which is Louis Hansen, who is also an icon, very funny. Their banter together is amazing. Their chemistry is really, really good. I really enjoy that they've brought on a co-host, a permanent co-host, because Annabelle used to just have guest co-hosts in the previous seasons. But let me tell you what it's about. Everybody Has a Secret is this delectably juicy, amazing, wonderful, sugary podcast. Pretty much the gist is that the producer, Ruby, will read out a secret, like a full-on secret. We're not talking like a little white lie. This is like a full secret that a listener has sent in. Ruby will read it out to Annabelle and Louis, and they react live to the secret. And then they obviously give their reactions as they go, which is really funny. And they then give their advice to that person, what they would do if they were in their situation. And there's a lot of twists and turns, but it's just really lighthearted content. Some of the secrets that people send in, and it's like listeners of the show, like it's everyday people sending in these secrets, but they are so Bold and the Beautiful-esque. It's crazy. I just can't believe some of these things that people send in. It's all anonymous, obviously, and they protect people's identities. But oh my God, when I need something that is just lighthearted, distracting, very distracting, and juicy, I'll go to that. It's like gossipy and really fun to listen to on like a walk, or for my case, when I was just laying there. Yeah, I really recommend that if you're wanting a podcast recommendation. And I'd recommend checking out the whole Shameless banner. They have a variety of different podcasts they're coming out with. Really great content. It's really cool to see from some Melbourne journalists creating such an empire. Yeah, really cool to see. They also have many different series and podcasts, so just go check it out. Search Shameless. They have a book club and everything if you're into reading. I'm not really into reading that much, so I don't know really how their book club podcast is, but I've heard it's really good. Okay, guys, those are my 5 recommendations for comfort content creators that I sort of lean towards when I need a little comfort or just a good distraction. I know they're always going to hit. So I highly recommend those 5. If you are in need of new recommendations, please take them on board, try them out, and let me know what you think. I also would really, 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 really love you guys to recommend me some content creators that you really enjoy that I haven't mentioned today. Please comment below your favorites. I really, really want to find some new content creators to listen to and watch. I am a YouTube girly through and through and a podcast girly. So I literally every night I go to YouTube instead of Netflix, if that says anything. So please let me know if you vlog, comment below your channel and I'll check it out. If you podcast, let me know. I'd love to consume new content, new fresh content. I love to see it. Thanks again for sticking with me, guys. I really, really appreciate your support. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe or please thumbs up. I really, really appreciate it. It makes me very happy to see people are enjoying the content. And thank you so much for your well wishes for last week. It was a really tough week, so you don't know how much it means. The people that sent a message and made the effort to check in with me, or the people that even noticed that I didn't post and messaged me and saying, girl, where's the podcast? That is the best. I love the accountability, and I will hopefully be week for week again moving forward. But yeah, please bear with me. I am dealing with a few things behind the scenes, which has been pretty stressful. So I'll probably just need a little leeway moving forward in case I need to miss a week. But the goal was to keep going 52 podcasts in the 52 weeks of the year. Hopefully I do a little catch up and I can sort of sprinkle a bonus episode in somewhere to make sure we keep on track. But yeah, that's it for now. That's all my little updates. I hope you're having the most amazing week, and I hope you continue to do so. I will see you next week again for another episode. I love you a lot, appreciate you, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.